The world of hip-hop has seen many wars, but nothing could have prepared the fans for the absolute carnage that is reportedly unfolding, right? Now between the G-Unit mogul, 50 Cent, and the Harris family. For years, we have watched 50 Cent dismantle its enemies with a smile, but today, the laughter has completely stopped because a line has been crossed that can never be uncrossed. Reports are flooding the internet claiming that 50 Cent has officially declared war on T.I.'s son, King Harris, after the young rapper allegedly committed the ultimate sin of disrespecting the memory of 50 Cent's late mother. The tension is at an all-time high as whispers from within the industry suggest that the King of the South is currently in a state of total panic, trying to shield his son from a retaliation that promised to be more calculated and destructive than anything we have ever seen in the history of social media feuds. Fans are absolutely shocked as headlines scream that 50 Cent has moved beyond simple memes and is now reportedly targeting the very foundation of King Harris's life and future. Imagine the scene: a 21-year-old who thought he was untouchable, suddenly finding himself in the crosshairs of a man who survived 9 bullets and built a billion-dollar empire out of pure spite. The reports suggest that 50 Cent is no longer playing games and that he has allegedly mobilized his entire team to ensure that King Harris understands the true cost of mocking a murdered woman's grave. The energy is chilling and the personal stakes have reached a boiling point that has left even the biggest names in the business looking on in horror. Is this the end of the Harris family's peace? Has King Harris finally poked the bear one too many times? Stay tuned as we dive deep into the sensational reports of this unfolding war, the rumored attacks behind the scenes, and the terrifying reality of what happens when you make an enemy out of a legend who has nothing left to lose. This is not just entertainment anymore. This is a survival story that has the entire world watching with bated breath. The reports swirling around the industry suggest that the initial silence from 50 Cent was never a sign of surrender, but rather the calm before a catastrophic storm that has now allegedly made its way to the doorstep of the Harris family. According to insiders who have been monitoring the situation, the G-Unit mogul was reportedly devastated by the viral footage of King Harris mocking his mother's grave and has decided that a lesson in respect must be taught on a global stage. The news began to break when several close associates of 50 Cent hinted that the mogul had begun a systematic process of deconstructing the young rapper's public image and business connections. Fans are shocked as reports claim that 50 Cent has allegedly contacted multiple venue owners and promoters across the country to ensure that King Harris is effectively blacklisted from performing at major events. The emotional conflict within the Harris household is said to be at an all-time high, with T.I. reportedly caught between the natural instinct to protect his son and the terrifying reality of facing off against a rival who has a reputation for never letting a grudge go. The narrative suggests that T.I. has been seen in deep conversation with his legal team trying to find a way to mitigate the damage. But the reports are saying that the attack from 50 Cent is not a legal one, but a psychological and professional dismantling. Rumors are circulating that 50 Cent has even gone as far as to dig up old footage and documents that could potentially embarrass King Harris further, effectively turning the young man's desire for clout against him. The betrayal felt by the community is palpable as people who once supported the Harris family are now allegedly turning their backs, fearing the wrath of 50 Cent. The reports suggest that even within the family, the tension is thick enough to cut with a knife, as Tiny Harris reportedly pleads with her son to issue a public apology before it is too late. However, the reports claim that King Harris is still under the impression that he can win a social media war against a man who practically invented the genre. The drama intensified when headlines suggested that 50 Cent had allegedly purchased a series of domain names and trademarks related to King Harris's brand, intending to block him from launching any new merchandise or music under his current name. The personal stakes have moved beyond music and into the territory of legacy and survival. T.I. is reportedly being told by industry elders that his son has committed a violation that cannot be ignored and that 50 Cent is within his rights to protect the memory of his mother. The psychological warfare has reportedly taken a physical toll on T.I., who has been described as looking exhausted and frantic. During his recent brief appearances in Atlanta, he is a man who built his career on being the king of the South, but now he finds himself in a position where he cannot even protect his own son from the consequences of his own words. The reports suggest that 50 Cent is moving with a level of cold precision that has even the most seasoned industry veterans feeling nervous. Every post, every comment, and every rumor seems to be a calculated move in a game that King Harris does not even realize he is playing. The community is watching as the Harris empire reportedly begins to show cracks under the pressure of 50 Cent's relentless pursuit of justice for his mother's memory. Whispers from the Harris camp suggest that there have been several heated arguments behind closed doors, with T.I. allegedly telling his son that he has no idea what kind of monster he has awakened. The reports claim that King Harris initially laughed off the threats, but as his upcoming shows began to get canceled without explanation, the reality of his situation started to sink in. The betrayal of his own future for the sake of a few likes on Instagram is being called one of the biggest mistakes in modern hip-hop history. As the reports of 50 Cent's retaliation continue to grow, the focus has shifted to the mental state of the young rapper, who is now allegedly realizing that he is in serious trouble. Industry insiders claim that 50 Cent has no intention of stopping until he has completely neutralized any influence King Harris has in the music world. The drama has reached a boiling point where friends and family are being forced to take sides, and the majority are reportedly choosing to stay away from the sinking ship. Tiny Harris is said to be reaching out to mutual friends of 50 Cent in a desperate attempt to broker a peace treaty. But the reports suggest that 50 Cent is refusing to even take the calls. He is reportedly focused on one thing and one thing only, which is making sure that the name of Sabrina Jackson is never disrespected again. The emotional stakes for 50 Cent are rooted in a childhood tragedy that he has never forgotten, and the reports say that he sees King Harris's actions as a personal attack on the only woman who ever truly loved him. The narrative of the war is expanding every hour, with new reports of leaked documents and canceled partnerships flooding the timeline. T.I. is reportedly feeling the weight of the world on his shoulders as he realizes that his own reputation is being dragged down by the actions of his son. Fans are divided, with some feeling that 50 Cent is going too far by targeting a young man's career, while others believe that the disrespect shown to a deceased mother justifies any and all retaliation. The atmosphere in the hip-hop world is one of grim fascination as people wait to see what the next move will be in this high-stakes drama. The reports claim that 50 Cent has already prepared a series of videos that will showcase every mistake King Harris has ever made, effectively creating a documentary of his downfall. The psychological pressure is reportedly causing a rift between T.I. and his son, with reports of a physical altercation between the two being whispered about in Atlanta circles. The betrayal of the father's teachings by the son has created a tragedy that transcends music and enters the realm of a family's public disintegration. As the reports of the attack become more detailed, the world is beginning to see that 50 Cent is playing for keeps, and that he has the resources to make King Harris's life very difficult for a very long time. The industry is watching a legacy being dismantled in real time, and the sense of dread is growing with every new headline. T.I. is allegedly trying to find a way to apologize on behalf of his son, but the reports suggest that 50 Cent has made it clear that the apology must come from the one who committed the sin. The drama is far from over, and the reports are saying that 50 Cent has a few more surprises in store that will leave the entire Harris family in a state of total shock. The The personal stakes for everyone involved are at an all-time high, and the war for respect has only just begun to reach its most intense phase. Tiny Harris is reportedly in tears daily as she watches her son's future evaporate before her eyes, while T.I. struggles to maintain his dignity in the face of a rival who has him completely cornered. The reports suggest that the next few days will be critical for the survival of the Harris brand as 50 Cent prepares to drop his most devastating blow yet. The community is braced for impact as the story continues to unfold with a level of intensity that has not been seen in years. Every notification on a smartphone feels like a new shot fired in a war that is moved from the studio to the very heart of the Harris family. The reports are consistent in one thing, which is that 50 Cent is not looking for an apology anymore. He is looking for a complete and total surrender. The narrative of the war has become the dominant story in hip-hop, and the reports of King Harris being in serious trouble are being validated by every new development in this tragic and sensational feud. As the reports circulate, the world is beginning to realize that the King of the South might have finally met a challenge that he cannot overcome, and the cost of his son's disrespect is a price that the entire family will be paying for years to come. The reports of a secret meeting between industry titans to discuss the situation suggest that the ripples of this war are reaching the highest levels of power, and the consensus is reportedly that King Harris has no way out of the trap that 50 Cent has set for him. The emotional toll on the family is described as unbearable, and the drama is only getting started as the reports of the next phase of 50 Cent's attack begin to hit the internet. The reports suggest that as the pressure from 50 Cent's calculated strike continued to mount, the internal dynamics of the Harris family reached a state of total combustion that could no longer be hidden from the public eye. According to sources close to the inner circle in Atlanta, T.I. allegedly held an emergency meeting at his estate, where the atmosphere was described as more like a courtroom than a family home. Reports claim that T.I. was visibly shaken, pacing back and forth while reading out the latest headlines that suggested his son was being systematically erased from the industry's good graces. The emotional conflict was at an all-time high as T.I. reportedly looked at King Harris and told him that his desire for internet clout had effectively opened the gates for a monster that no one knew how to close. Fans are shocked by rumors that Tiny Harris was forced to act as a mediator during a heated shouting match between father and son, with T.I. allegedly accusing King of being a liability to the entire Harris legacy. The reports suggest that King Harris tried to defend his actions by claiming he was just being a savage and standing his ground. But T.I. reportedly countered by saying that there is no pride in being a savage toward a woman who is in her grave. The personal stakes were becoming a daily reality as more reports surfaced of brand deals being paused and music features being pulled from King's upcoming projects. Industry insiders whisper that 50 Cent's influence is so deep that major distribution labels are reportedly hesitant to even open emails from anyone associated with the Harris camp for fear of getting caught in the crossfire. The narrative of the war shifted when reports began to circulate about 50 Cent allegedly launching a counter-campaign titled the Respect Your Elders Project, which many viewed as a direct jab at King Harris's lack of home training. The psychological warfare reached a new level when reports claimed that 50 Cent had allegedly sent a wreath of flowers to his mother's grave with a note that was leaked to the press, stating that her son would make sure her name was never dragged through the mud by children who didn't know their history. This move reportedly devastated T.I. as it made him look like the villain in a story where he was already losing control. The community reaction has been overwhelming, with many Atlanta legends reportedly reaching out to T.I. to tell him that he needs to check his son before someone else does. The reports suggest that the betrayal felt by T.I. is rooted in the fact that he has spent his entire career preaching about respect and the game, only to have his own flesh and blood violate the most sacred rule of all. The drama intensified Further, when reports surfaced that 50 Cent had allegedly started a legal process to look into the Harris family's business structures, suggesting that his attack was moving from social media into the world of corporate sabotage. Fans are paralyzed with anticipation as the whispers of a leaked recording of King Harris apologizing behind closed doors began to trend. Though 50 Cent reportedly refused to acknowledge it, claiming he wanted a public surrender or nothing at all. The emotional stakes for Tiny Harris are said to be the most tragic, as she is reportedly caught between a husband who is ready to disown his son's actions and a child who is too proud to admit he is in over his head. Reports suggest that Tiny has been making secret phone calls to G-Unit associates trying to find a price or a way to settle the debt of disrespect. But the response has been a chilling silence. The Harris family was left divided as some of the older siblings reportedly took T.I.'s side, telling King that he has put all of their futures at risk for a viral moment that lasted less than a minute. The reports of the heated arguments describe a family that is currently a house divided against itself, with King Harris allegedly threatening to go independent and leave the family brand altogether. This twist has only added more fuel to the fire, as 50 Cent reportedly laughed at the news on his social media, suggesting that King Harris wouldn't last a week in the industry without his father's protection. The psychological toll on King Harris is finally beginning to show, with reports that he has been staying at a separate location to avoid his father's anger. However, even there, he is not safe from 50 Cent's reach, as reports claim that local clubs in Atlanta have been told that if they host King Harris, they can forget about ever having a G-Unit artist or a 50 Cent appearance again. The betrayal of his own city is something King Harris reportedly never expected, and the weight of being a pariah in his own backyard is starting to crush his spirit. The reports suggest that 50 Cent is enjoying every moment of this dismantling, viewing it as a long overdue lesson for a family that he feels has been too loud for too long. The drama has reached a point where even the fans are starting to feel a sense of dread for what comes next. Every time 50 Cent posts a photo of his mother, the comment section is flooded with people tagging T.I. and demanding that he take responsibility for the disrespect. The reports claim that T.I. is feeling the pressure of his peers, as older rappers who used to look up to him are now allegedly looking down on him for his son's behavior. The emotional conflict in T.I.'s heart is described as a battle between his role as a father and his identity as a man of the culture. He reportedly knows that if he doesn't handle this, his own career might be the ultimate casualty of 50 Cent's revenge. The narrative of the war is no longer just about King Harris. It is about the total destruction of the Harris family's credibility. Reports suggest that 50 Cent has been digging into T.I.'s past business dealings, looking for any weakness that can be exploited to further the humiliation. The Harris empire, once considered one of the most stable in the South, is now reportedly under a microscope like never before. The reports of a heated confrontation between T.I. and 50 Cent's lawyers have added a new layer of tension to the saga, with rumors of a massive defamation lawsuit being prepared by the G-Unit camp. King Harris is reportedly in serious trouble, as his lawyers have allegedly warned him that mocking a deceased person's memory in such a public way could have legal consequences if it is tied to emotional distress for the survivors. The drama is unfolding with the speed of a runaway train, and the reports are saying that 50 Cent is the one with his hand on the throttle. As the night falls in Atlanta, the Harris estate is reportedly a place of mourning rather than celebration. The pride of the South is being tested in a way that no one could have predicted, and the reports suggest that the next move from 50 Cent will be the one that finally brings King Harris to his knees. T.I. is reportedly considering a televised apology to 50 Cent's family, but his advisors are telling him that it might be too late for apologies. The betrayal has gone too deep, and the wounds are too fresh for words to heal. The community is watching as the giants of the industry prepare for what could be the final battle of this war, a battle that promises to leave only one man standing. The reports of 50 Cent's latest attack suggest that he is moving toward the financial heart of the Harris family, aiming to hit them where it hurts the most. King Harris is reportedly feeling the walls close in as his social media following begins to drop and the negative comments become an avalanche he cannot stop. The emotional stakes are at a fever pitch, and the drama is far from its conclusion as the world waits to see. T.I. can find a way to save his son from a legend who is determined to make him a cautionary tale for the ages. The reports suggest that as the situation reached its absolute limit, the final phase of this war moved from professional sabotage to a complete psychological breakdown that has reportedly left King Harris in a state of total isolation. According to insiders who have been monitoring the movements around the Harris estate, T.I. has allegedly reached a point where he can no longer defend the indefensible, leading to a reported decree that his son must face the consequences of his actions alone. Fans are shocked as reports claim that 50 Cent's ultimate move was not a video or a song, but the alleged release of a dossier to industry power players that detailed every moment of disrespect. King Harris has shown two legends over the years, effectively making him radioactive in the business world. The emotional conflict within the family has reportedly turned into a cold, hard reality where Tiny Harris is said to be the only person still speaking to King, as T.I. has reportedly entered a period of silent mourning for the reputation he spent 30 years building. The narrative of the war took its most dramatic twist when reports surfaced that 50 Cent had allegedly purchased the debt of a major project King Harris was involved in, giving the G-Unit mogul literal ownership over his rival's son's creative future. Industry insiders whisper that this level of chess has never been seen in hip-hop before, and it has left T.I. in a position of total powerlessness. The personal stakes were highlighted when rumors began to spread that King Harris had finally broken down and sent a private, tearful video apology to 50 Cent, begging for his career back and claiming that he didn't realize the gravity of what he was saying. However, 50 Cent's reported response was to post a picture of his mother with the caption that some debts can never be paid with tears. The betrayal of the family's peace for the sake of a viral moment has reportedly led to King Harris being sidelined from all upcoming Harris family business ventures, with reports suggesting he has been stripped of his access to the family's private security and luxury assets. The community is watching in disbelief as the once untouchable King of the South is seen as a man who lost his grip on his own legacy because of a child's mistake. Reports suggest that T.I. has been seen meeting with his oldest friends, looking for a way to restore his honor. But the consensus in the industry is that the stain is permanent as long as 50 Cent continues his relentless pursuit. The drama intensified when reports claimed that major music streaming platforms were considering removing King Harris's independent releases due to the overwhelming negative feedback and the pressure from the G-Unit fanbase. The emotional stakes for the Harris children are described as devastating, as they are reportedly being bullied online and in person for their brother's lack of respect, creating a rift that may never be healed. Tiny Harris is allegedly in a state of constant panic, fearful that the war will eventually lead to a total financial collapse of their empire. 50 Cent doesn't call off the hounds. The reports suggest that 50 Cent has already achieved his goal of making King Harris a pariah, as no artist of any stature will allegedly even take a photo with him for fear of 50 Cent's legendary trolling. The final reports of this saga describe a house that was once filled with laughter, and music now being filled with lawyers and a chilling sense of regret. T.I. has reportedly told close associates that he feels like he is living through a nightmare that he cannot wake up from, while 50 Cent remains in his position of power, a man who defended his mother's honor and won. The multiple dramatic twists have led to a resolution where there are no winners, only a family in ruins and a young man who has learned the hardest way possible that some people are not to be played with. As the sun sets on this chapter of hip-hop history, the Harris family legacy is reportedly being rewritten as a cautionary tale of how one disrespectful comment can bring a dynasty to its knees. Every report coming out of Atlanta suggests that the damage is done and that King Harris is in serious trouble, that no amount of money or fame can fix. The industry has been left in a state of shock, realizing that 50 Cent has once again proven why he is the most dangerous man in the game when it comes to psychological warfare. The reports conclude with the image of T.I. standing on the balcony of his mansion, looking out over a city that used to worship him, knowing that the war is over and the Harris family has lost. The betrayal, the anger, and the heartbreak have all merged into a single narrative of a fall from grace that will be talked about for years to come. 50 Cent's final move was reportedly a simple one. He simply stopped talking, leaving the Harris family to deal with the silence and the shadows of their own making. The world is left to wonder if King Harris will ever be seen in a positive light again, or if he will forever be known as the son who destroyed his father's kingdom for a moment of clout that turned into a lifetime of regret. The drama has reached its peak, and the reports suggest that the final curtain has fallen on the Harris family's dominance in the South. Now that we have witnessed the total fallout of this brutal psychological war, the question remains, did 50 Cent take it to a level no one expected? Or did King Harris bring this absolute destruction upon himself? Reports suggest that the Harris family may never truly recover from this systematic dismantling. But we want to hear your take on this chaotic situation. Do you think 50 Cent was justified in using his massive influence to effectively blacklist a young artist over a personal insult to his mother? Or do you believe that in the world of hip-hop, targeting a man's career and family legacy is going way too far? Was this the ultimate lesson in respect, or was it a calculated move to finally end T.I.'s reign in the South? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because the internet is deeply divided. And we want to know if you think there is any way back for King Harris after such a massive public humiliation. If you found this deep dive into the industry's most intense drama engaging, make sure to hit that like button to support the channel. Subscribe right now and turn on your notifications so you never miss a single update on the feuds, betrayals, and scandals that are currently rocking the world of entertainment. Your engagement helps us bring you the stories that no one else is brave enough to tell. So, thank you for watching and stay tuned for our next report as we continue to track every move in this legendary War of the Giants.